Minecraft is a very popular video game. It's been around since 2009, I believe. So it's been around for quite a while now, and it's the best-selling game of all time. However, I find a lot of people online will be like, someone will be wanting to get into video games. They'll be like, "Oh, your first game should be Minecraft." I think this is a bad idea because fundamentally, Minecraft is a lot more difficult to understand from the get-go without some sort of prior knowledge or a guide, because how complex, well, not complex, but how it's not easy to just figure out what to do. So my purpose of this video is to teach you how to play Minecraft. Now, this video was originally just going to be intended for my missus, to teach her how to play Minecraft because she wants to get into it. However, I decided it'd be a good idea to share this with more people. So here we are, is the comprehensive dumb shits guide to getting your girlfriend into Minecraft. So I'm going to work under the assumption that you have no prior experience with video games, and this is something that's completely new to you. And I'm going to go from basically just the basics of the game, of the things that you need to know to have fun. And then anything more complex, there's plenty of other videos for that, but this is just a bare minimum of what you need to know to get into the game. Now let's start with creating a new world. Now, there are two versions of Minecraft. There's Java version and Bedrock version. You don't really need to know the difference. They're fundamentally the same. The only difference between them is that they use different programming languages. But for the sake of this video, I'm using the Java edition of the game, which has some small differences, but at the end of the day, it's not enough to change what the fundamental experience is like. They're pretty identical between both games. So now that we're in, we've created our world name. We're going to set it to survival. There's 4 difficulty options. There's normal, hard, peaceful, and easy. So basically, peaceful is no hostile mobs. Your hunger doesn't deplete, and health replenishes over time. Easy is like hostile mobs or enemies spawn, but less. Your hunger is less like aggressive, so like you don't have to worry about hunger as much, and it doesn't drain your health as much. Normal is the default difficulty. Hunger depletes down to half a heart. So once your hunger depletes, then your health goes down to half a heart, and it's normal hostile mobs for once. Like there's nothing like extreme. And hard is more hostile mobs, and your hunger bar depletes and drains all your health. Realistically, there's not too much difference between them because mobs aren't really too big of an issue. If you don't want to deal with enemies at all, play on peaceful. Otherwise, easy or normal is fine. We're going to play on normal. I'm going to allow cheats because it's going to help me get through this guide a bit quicker and allow a bit more demonstration. In terms of your world, you're going to want to keep it default. This seed, basically, the way Minecraft generates is it generates using a seed or a random string of characters that will predict what the world's going to look like. If you use, for example, if I put the seed high, every single world you generate on this version of Minecraft with the seed high will look exactly the same. We're going to keep our structures on, and we're also going to turn on bonus chest because this gives you some extra items to get started with. You don't have to worry about any of this for right now. This is much like further down the line when you're creating new worlds in the future. So we're going to create the new world and wait for it to load. All right, this may not be what your Minecraft exactly looks like. I'm running a shader pack, which basically adds some better lighting, but I am using no gameplay changing features. This is only a visual thing. As you can see, it's quite gorgeous. Now we're going to walk over here and we're going to open up this chest. Inside, there are some starting items. We're not going to worry about these right now. We'll come back to them here in a second because I want to sort of demonstrate what I'm doing before I start using that. So the first thing we're going to do is you've spawned in, it's a new day. First thing you want to do is you're going to find the nearest tree you can. So over here, we have a tree. Let's go over to it. And we're going to hold down on... So I'm also going to assume that you're playing on a mouse and keyboard for the sake of this tutorial. I don't have a controller. Well, I don't think you can play Java Minecraft with a controller. And I haven't really had much experience with console Minecraft. It's functionally the same, it's just different keybinds. So if you click the left button on your mouse and you hold it down, then it will slowly break this block. Now, certain blocks can be broken with your fist and some can't. you can usually tell, because if you hold, well, most blocks can be broken with your fist, but some of them will take a really, really long time. So you can usually tell just by like looking at this little animation that plays when they're breaking. You can see the progress at which it breaks. Once that reaches the edges, bam, it's broken. If it takes a long time for that to happen, then it means you're not ready to mine that thing and you need a different tool. So now we've got some wood. Let's explain crafting. Crafting is basically a system where you take items to make other items. And by default, your inventory, which you open by clicking E, has 4 slots. So if we place our jungle logs in here, that'll create planks. And I'm going to click shift and then I'm going to click on it and that's going to craft them all into planks. Now that's actually unlocks some recipes. This, I don't use this, but there is a recipe book. This will make your life a bit easier if you don't know how to craft certain things. Every time you unlock a new item, it'll show anything that being crafted, anything that you could be crafted with that item, but also everything that you've unlocked before. So for example, if I picked up 10 more items, it would show all the crafting recipes I've unlocked using all the items I've collected so far on my journey. Now we're going to make a crafting table. Now the 2 options you have, you can either click on this and it'll automatically fill it in, or you can just do it yourself. And so you click on it to pick it up and then right click, right click, right click, right click. That'll create a crafting table. This crafting table is what you're going to need for everything. This is basically your like go-to block. So let's mine some of these grass away. We're going to place our crafting table. So now we have it. As you can see, it's a 3x3 inside. So now what we're going to do is we're going to craft some sticks. Sticks are just 2 logs on top of each other. This is a shapeless craft. Well, not shapeless, but it can be done here. It can be done here. It can be done here. It can be done pretty much anywhere where you can place one and then another one on top of it. Now we have some sticks. Now let's go over your tools. As you can see, they've all just unlocked here for us. So if you forget the crafting recipes, they're all right here. So you can see they've all unlocked. We're going to craft a few more sticks and I'm going to go through the basic tools. So first things first, to defend yourself, you're going to need a sword. That is a stick plus 2 planks. That's a wooden sword. Now I'm going to craft a pickaxe, which is like this. I'm going to craft an axe, which is like this. And then we're going to craft a shovel, which is like this. And then last things last, we're going to actually craft, we actually don't have enough planks for this, so let's go break another one. We now have an axe for this though, so it'll be a bit faster. So let's walk over to this tree over here is good. We're not going to mine the whole thing out right now, but I'm going to demonstrate. So we're going to get rid of these vines that are hanging on it. And as you can see, we're mining it a lot quicker now that we're using an axe. We'll get to which tools are used for which here in a second. I just want to get all the tools first. We've collected a bit more wood. Let's walk back over here. And we're going to place these all inside the crafting grid and make a bunch more planks. Now I'm going to go like this, and then 2 wood on top to craft a hoe. Now, you have all your basic tools. The crafting recipe for every tier of tools is the same. There's 5 tiers. There's wooden tools, which we have now, then stone, then iron, then gold, then diamond. And there's also netherite, but that's a bit further down the line, and they've changed how netherite's crafted. But for wood through diamond, the recipe's the same. You just need to change out the top items. So for example, the sticks will always remain the same. You'll always use 2 sticks. But for a stone pickaxe, we'd have 3 cobblestone. For an iron, we'd have 3 iron ingots. Gold, 3 gold ingots. Diamond, 3 diamonds. Now we've got that all sorted out. Let's talk about what each tool does. The sword is basically just used to attack. You click on enemies and they take damage. You can also jump and click while you're falling to do extra damage. As you can see, there's a little bar that appears underneath my sword when I swing it, or underneath the crosshair in the middle of my screen. Basically, that is a cooldown. So when you fight an enemy, you can choose to either go like this and just keep whacking them, but you won't do as much damage. It's better to go like that and wait for the bar to refill and do it again. Now, the pickaxe. This is used to mine any stone-esque block. So this could be used for, like, say you have a furnace on the line, or you have any stone you find in the wild, any ore you find. Pretty much anything that looks like it's stone or metal-y can be mined with a pickaxe. An axe is used for anything that's sort of wood-like. So that can be used for logs, for example, like we just did, or even this chest. Ta-da! So that's been broken with this axe. The shovel is used for anything that is dirt adjacent. Dirt, gravel, sand, concrete before it's been made into concrete powder, sorry. So let's have a look. See? That's the speed it mines with a shovel. and it's a bit slower with your hand. Now, each tier of tool will actually mine faster. So if we have a look down here, we're gonna get some stone right now. So we're gonna start mining. We're gonna do it like this, this, this. We're gonna create a 3 wide hole, and we're gonna go like that and make some stairs. And then we're gonna go down again. And now you can see we have some stone here. Now, you won't be able to use your axe to mine this. As you can see, it's incredibly slow. Or your sword, it's incredibly slow. Or even your fist, it's incredibly slow. Let's use a pickaxe, it's much faster. So now we're gonna have 3 of those, and we're gonna grab a few more for all of our tools. So we're gonna need 2 for the sword, we're gonna need 3 for both of the pickaxe and axe, and we're gonna need an additional 3 for the shovel and the hoe. So that's in total, what, 3, 6, 9, 11, I believe, yes. Let's quickly organize our hotbar a little bit. Let's get 11 stone. Now I've collected a little bit extra stone because I wanted to show you guys something else. But as you can see, it's quite dark down here. So let's go back up to the surface. As you can see, our chest spawned surrounded by 4 torches. That's why I recommend bonus chests for beginners, because it can give you some stuff that you might not remember how to craft or might be a little bit for you to figure out. So you have a little bit of torches on hand. Because of the pack I'm using, the torch will illuminate anywhere I go if it's in my hand. However, if we turn this shader pack off, where is it? Shader packs. Disable it, and we click apply. It's not going to light up the area around me. It's just because I'm using this visual enhancement shader. But I'm going to keep it on anyway because I think it looks nice. So now we've got the torches and we've got a 19 cobblestone. I'm going to craft some tools. So let's go back up to our crafting table and we'll demonstrate again the process. So we're going to grab a few more of these and we're going to craft a pickaxe, a axe, a shovel, a hoe, and we're also going to craft up a sword. Also, I did not explain what the hoe is for. Basically, the hoe can till ground, which can be used for farming crops. We'll get to that in a second. So now we've got all of our tools. Now what? Well, first things first, we're going to have to get some food. So let's kill this guy. That'll give you a raw pork chop. Now this is very important because it leads on to the next thing I want to demonstrate. A furnace. This is your next essential crafting item that you need to craft. It's cobblestone all around the outside like so, and you have a furnace. This basically can take fuel, which is coal or wood or I believe sugarcane or kelp, and it smelts an item into a different item. So what we're going to do is at the beginning of the game, you don't really know how to get coal yet because coal is a little bit harder to find in the more recent updates. So we're going to place 3 logs in here, and we're going to place some planks in here as fuel, and that's going to slowly but surely smelt these logs into charcoal. You have to use logs to create charcoal. As you can see, there's a recipe for it right here. And we're going to place the charcoal as the new fuel source, because the charcoal can smelt a lot more fuels. You can also use the charcoal to make torches, which is very helpful. So now we've got a little bit of charcoal running. And we're also going to use this, while we wait for this to go through, we're going to use this furnace to cook this pork chop. So this raw pork chop we can eat, and we will have no negative side effects from eating it. There's no negative side effects to eating a raw pork chop. However, you will get more food out of eating cooked food. And what do I mean by that? So if we have a look at the bottom here, we have our hunger bar. This will deplete over time by doing certain actions like sprinting, jumping, breaking blocks, or whatnot. This cooked pork chop will fill more hunger points than a raw pork chop. Now, before nighttime comes around, let's also show you how to make a chest. So we're just going to do the same thing as the furnace, but with planks. So now we have chests, or a chest. And now we can store all of our items in here, just in case we die throughout the night. So let's dump everything we have in here. I want to use our chest from earlier to show it for an example. You can actually have double chests. This is 2 chests next to each other. So now we have a setup like this. And as you can see, it's getting to nighttime. Now, there's 2 options when it comes to nighttime. You can either stay out, however you increase the risk of hostile mobs attacking you, unless you're in peaceful, in which case you can do whatever you want. Or you can get a bed, or you can build a little house. What I'm going to do for right now is I'm just going to use the in-game commands to change, that one. Time, set, day. This is just for demonstration purposes. I'm using cheats for this demonstration purposes just because I want to go over a few more things before we hit night. So now we've got some items. we're going to go out and we're going to kill some more animals. As you can see, so if we hit it, if we jump and then hit while falling, it gets an extra satisfying noise and it takes less hits to kill. Now, we've got a pretty nice area here surrounded by mountains and also lots of wood over here. So this is a good place to spawn. Now, you can either choose to build your base here or you can go out exploring. Oh, look, some cows over here. Let's kill some of them. We're not going to kill all of them though. We're going to save a few for later. See, now we've got some leather and some beef. There's a few more items we can get around here. There's sugarcane, which can be grown on water sides. This is useful for later as you use it to craft paper. Sand is a good example of another block that we can mine with a shovel. As you can see, we're using the shovel and it's much faster. Perfect. All right. So now we've got a sort of grasp of our area. We know what's where, and there's some sheep. Awesome. This will be perfect. So we're going to kill 3 of these sheep, and we'll come back to those ores here in a second. So we're going to select our sword, and we're going to kill the sheep. We're trying to get 3 wool, because we need 3 wool to make a bed. And they all need to be the same color of wool, which is something that changed from what it originally was, where originally in the game, it used to be you could use any 3 wool, but now with the introduction of colored beds, it has to be all 3 the same color wool. But now we have 3 white wool. Let's walk back to our home now. As you can see, our hunger is depleting. I'm going to eat this pork chop by holding down right click. Let's head back home and we'll make up a bed. All right, so we're going to open up our chest. We're going to grab 1, 2, 3 planks out, and we're going to use that to craft up a bed. Ta-da! And now we're going to set the time back to night again for the sake of demonstration. So we're going to go like this. This is not something you're going to be doing in your playthroughs. This is just I'm using it here for examples. So now we're going to go and we're going to right click on the bed and we're just going to fall asleep. Now, if there were hostile mobs around, I wouldn't be able to sleep because you can only sleep when there's no hostile mobs in the vicinity around you. That's why I advise building a little base around your stuff. All right, so now I'm going to go get a few more items and I'll get back to you guys once I've got a few more items. All right, I've gotten these up to demonstrate some of the ores. So we have iron ore, copper ore, gold ore, and diamond ore. Iron, gold, and diamond are all used for tools. Copper is just used for building blocks. Gold is the fastest, I believe, apart from netherite ore, or the fastest tool material. However, it has very little durability. So if you have a look here, you can see that there's that little green bar underneath my sword. Once I've hit enough enemies with it, then it's eventually going to run out of durability, and then it's going to break. So what I'd recommend is skip gold and go straight from iron to diamond. So we've got our pickaxe. We're just going to simply mine the iron, like so. And now we have 3 raw iron, and we're going to mine these diamonds. I actually think you might need an iron pickaxe for them. Yes, sorry, that's my bad. We need an iron pickaxe for these diamonds. So we've got our raw iron. We're going to go to our furnace, place these 3 iron in, and then you can choose to either use coal or you can use some more wood. I'm going to use some more wood. That's going to smelt up some iron. But before we get to that, let's talk about armor. So as you can see, I've unlocked the recipes for it here. I've gotten these leather. I'm going to show you the different types of armor you can craft. So the first thing is a helmet, which is like this. And then you have the chest plate, which is like this. Then you have the leggings, which are like this. And then we have the boots, which are like this. And then you can equip them all to your player character. And this will add a little armor bar above your health bar. This will reduce the amount of damage you take from enemy attacks. So now our iron should be done. Let's demonstrate a iron pickaxe. So we'll go over here, 2 sticks and 3 iron, as mentioned before, an iron pickaxe. Now let's make a little comparison real quick. So if we go down here, 1, 2, 3. That's about this speed of a stone pickaxe. As you can see, the iron pickaxe is quite a bit faster. Now let's go over here and grab our diamonds. We'll make a diamond pickaxe. All right, 2 sticks, 3 diamonds, and we have a diamond pickaxe, which is much more fast. As you can see, it mines very quickly and also has a lot more durability. So that's the basics of tools and armor. basically all the armor is exactly the same as what I've just done with the leather, except with different materials. So you can use either gold ingots, iron ingots, or diamonds. And then netherite is a little bit further into the game. You don't really need to worry about that. That's more once you've gotten a feel of the basic mechanics of the game. So now that you've got all of your basic tools set up, you probably won't have diamond by this point in the game. I just got them in for demonstration. But how do you find these ores? So it's something that's a little bit confusing to discover. So basically you just go down. I would not recommend mining straight down because you can fall into lava or mobs or something and you can die and lose all your items. So I recommend making a staircase like this. Now, it's the sort of thing with like how Minecraft generates their ores. So the world is divided into blocks, obviously. And it goes from, I believe, like 256 blocks high to, I believe, negative 64, I think is the limit. And we're currently at y equals 67. Now, this is going to look like a lot of overwhelming information. If you're playing the Bedrock edition in the game, there should be an option to toggle your coordinates on. So it's just that and nothing else. However, in Java edition of Minecraft, this is the way you open up your coordinates. Use the F3 button on your keyboard. Now, I'm going to highlight on the screen where the coordinates are. You don't really actually have to worry about that. That's not something that you really particularly need to care about. It will make your life a bit easier if you want to learn how to do it, but it's not necessary. So there are a few different locations that that different ores spawn at. I'm going to grab them up for you, and I'm going to let you know what they are. So the different levels, if you want to get into the more in-depth aspect of it, is negative 24 to negative 56 is the perfect spot for iron. It generates outside of those ranges. However, you'll get the most if you go to that range. Same with diamonds. It's negative 53 to negative 61. You won't find diamonds higher up. You'll only find them deep down in the ground. And between 95 and 96 for coal. That's up instead of down. So instead of negative, it's positive, 95 to 96 for coal. For coal, I recommend scanning cliff faces and looking for small caves to find coal. So we saw that cave earlier. So let's go over there and see if we can find anything useful in there. So if you look in here, we have some copper straight off the bat. And we have our first monster. I can hear him somewhere. Not sure where he is, but I can definitely hear him. Where is he? He might be in here. Oh, maybe not. I'm not sure where he is, but you can definitely hear him. He's making all moaning noises. Ah, here's our first enemy. Here's a skeleton. So they're going to shoot arrows at you. Then they're going to do damage. We're going to kill him. They have a lot of health, which is frustrating, but once you have better tools, then it won't be a problem anymore. So now we've got all of the, like that sort of under the rug, that skeleton's dead. What do you do now? So you've gotten yourself up, you've like slowly made up some like iron tools, you have some leather armor, you've gotten like a chest, a furnace, and a crafting table set up. What do you do now? So there's a few different options you can go for. The first thing you can do is you can either choose to explore, or you can continue destroying your environment to get resources to start building a base or a house. Now, there's a few good early game building blocks. One of my favorites are using cobblestone along with logs and planks. You can do a lot of fantastic things with just that combination of items. If you want to look online, there's hundreds and hundreds of designs for different types of bases. Let's talk about some of the ways you can add depth to your base, however. So let's say you've got your basic base set up. Let's grab some planks here. It's a boring, just 3x3 wall. There are ways to make this a little bit fancier. So let's talk about it. I'm going to go into creative mode now. So from here on out, I'm going to try my best to do everything in creative mode, just so I can show what I'm doing a little bit better. So you have your wall here. You can either go functional, and you can just go a basic 3x3 cube, keep all your items in it, and then not worry about anything else. That's one option. If you want to go functional, that is perfectly valid. There's a lot you can gain from going purely functional. However, if you want a little bit more aesthetic, here's some examples of what you can do. Let's take some logs. I'm going to place some logs going up on the sides. like so, around the corners. And these are all things you know how to get. Let's talk about stairs now. So stairs can be made in a crafting grid, like so. So we're going to go in here, and I'm going to go like that, that. That's how you craft stairs. It can be done with any type of planks. So we're going to use some stairs. I'm going to make a little bit of a roof. As you can see, it's already looking a little bit better. We'll do a little bit like the same on the sides. That way it sort of merges into the environment a little bit better. But how do we get into our new house? If we go in here, go like this, like that, and you get doors. Doors basically can be opened by using the right click button. So we right click on it, and we can go inside. Let's make ourselves a little bit of a floor. But as you can see, we don't have a roof. Thankfully, Minecraft lets you just place blocks pretty much wherever. It doesn't worry about gravity too much, unless it's a sand or gravel block. The sand and gravel are the only ones that can fall when placed with nothing underneath them. So this looks really nice. Let's have some slabs for our roof. How do you make slabs? You go like this. We've got some slabs. And we're going to use those to make a roof. Now, this is by no means a particularly gorgeous looking base. This is it's a bare minimum, just like for demonstration purposes. I'll add some a little more aesthetic touches to it. See, it's a nice little cozy starter house. But how do you but say you want windows, how do you get windows? Well, if you look into a furnace, it should say the recipe. Yep, glass. So sand, and then whatever fuel source you want. So we're gonna place a sand. Where is it? Sand and glass. Oh, sorry, not glass. We want coal. So we're going to place sand and coal in our furnace. And it's going to smelt this glass into, or smelt the sand into glass. And we're going to take this sand, or sorry, not take this glass, we're going to use it to make glass window panes. So we go into here. We're just going to grab a whole bunch of it. And we're going to craft some window panes, like that recipe there. And we're going to swap out some of our walls for windows. Like so. As you can see, it's add a little bit more of an aesthetic touch to the base. Let's do it the same here. See, now we have a little bit more aesthetic of a base. And then you can choose to hollow out the floor for some of your items, or stuff that you need. Not items, blocks. So we're going to go like this. Now we have a bed here. And a chest. You don't have to do it like this. This is just demonstration. If your base is really small and you don't know where to fit everything, you can just go like this. And you can still reach all of your items perfectly. So that's one example for a small starter base that you can get up and running pretty quickly. The only things you need to do is get yourself an axe, mine a bunch of wood, and then you don't even need cobblestone for this. You only need cobblestone for the furnace. So here's an example of a small starter base. And you can choose to expand this out if you want. Another option is exploring. So let's have a look around. So I'm going to be in creative mode. I'm flying around for this. If you want to play the game in creative mode, that's also a valid option, because this looks like a fucking gorgeous area to build like a really cool base. I actually really like this spawn. And in your creative inventory, you can see all the items you have access to. There's a lot of them. You won't need to worry about a lot of these for the most part. If you're just going through the basics, there's you don't need to get into redstone. You don't need to get into potions or enchanting or custom potion arrows and stuff like that. That's not something you need to worry about right at this exact moment. This is just when you get started in the world, what do you do to sort of get to the point where you can start having a bit more fun and start exploring your creativity. Now, there is fixed goals you can pursue in this game. However, they are not mandatory. Minecraft is an excellent game because the only limit, as is the cliche, is your imagination, where you don't have to progress through the sort of tiers of progression that the game has. You can just spend your entire time building a giant city here or a giant village, or you can go exploring and find some different structures. Like, for example, I can see one over here. Let's go over here and we'll have a look at the structure. There's also some horses down there, which is pretty cool. I just thought I'd point that out. So this is an example of one of the structures you can find in the wild. This contains obsidian, and it also contains a chest with some items, including gold gear, some iron nuggets, a shovel. You're going to be careful with the enchantments on these. So you can enchant items in this game. I'll go over that here in a second. But there's also curses. If you equipped these ones, for example, with Curse of Vanishing, when you die, they disappear. They're gone forever. If they had a Curse of Binding, then it's impossible to take them off without dying. But while we're here, you may have noticed this weird structure. This is for a nether portal, or a half-finished nether portal. So a full nether portal requires obsidian, like so. But how do you get obsidian? Well, you're going to need a diamond pickaxe first things first, and then you can find it in the wild. It's pretty rare to find it underground. However, you can make it yourself. So you're going to get some buckets of lava and water. Lava can be found very, very deep underground. You can find that when you're doing your mining. Water can be found pretty much everywhere on the surface. A bucket is, let's get a crafting table out. Crafting table and iron. No, not that one. 3 iron. So a bucket is 1, 2, 3, like so. Now that should be in here somewhere, I believe. There should be a recipe for buckets. Yeah, right here. So if you ever get confused, there's always your little recipe book here. Let's show you how to get obsidian though. So we're gonna go like this and put some lava down. Now you're probably just gonna find the lava underground, but I'm just putting it up here for example. And then when water touches it, it turns it into obsidian. This can be mined with a diamond pickaxe. You're going to need, in total, 10 obsidian. You only need to have it look like this to make a portal. However, I like having the edges filled in because it looks nicer. And then what we're going to do is get flint and steel. You don't actually need steel. There is no steel in this game, but there is iron, which you already know how to get. And then there's flint, which can be gathered from destroying gravel. Gravel is like sand. What is this? Gravel is like sand. If you place it and there's something underneath it, it just falls. Now, when you break gravel with a shovel, there's a chance that flint will come out instead of the gravel block. Now we're going to go in here, and I believe this is it's a shapeless recipe. So no matter where you put these inside this, it'll always make flint and steel. It doesn't matter. And then we're going to right click on this portal, and that's going to create a sort of gateway to another dimension. We're going to go inside and we'll have a look around. We've not got an excellent spawn inside this nether. So this is another dimension. This is basically the hell dimension of this game. We got a very bad spawn. So this is not a good place for demonstration. Let's quickly try and find a way out of here so I can show a little bit more what this place is like. I'm just going to use this to clip through the walls. You don't have to worry about what I'm doing right now. This is just a optional game mode that just lets you fly around without being able to interact with blocks. But there's multiple different biomes in the hell dimension. There's stuff like this, which is these basalt deltas. There's a lot of lava everywhere. There's a lot of cool, interesting mobs here. There's forests. There's red and blue forests. There's these valleys of soul sand with blue flames. It's a very, very pretty dimension nowadays. It used to look very different. But nowadays it looks quite pretty. So this is an example of the nether. You don't really need to worry about the nether yet. That's a bit more late game, and it's something that's a bit harder because the enemies here are harder. There's a lot of lava around everywhere that you can fall into and die. It's just a very dangerous place. I would not recommend going here until you're perfectly comfortable doing so. So let's head back home. So now we're back home. So that's some of the examples of what you can do in terms of exploration. There's a lot of different structures you can explore in this game. So let's go. I'm using the commands again for this to make it a little bit easier to demonstrate. We're going to go over here. And that didn't work. Oh, there he is. So we'll use this as an example of one of the structures you can find in the wild. This is a desert pyramid. Now, if you go inside, you can see there's not really that much inside. However, you can see this pattern on the floor. Now, you're going to want to break one of these 4 outside ones, or any of these outside ones, And if you can either choose to climb down or like mine your way down like so, or you can just jump down and you'll probably survive if you have full HP. You do not want to land on this. This is a pressure plate, which will basically activate all the TNT under here and it will blow you and all the loot up. So we'll break that. And you can see there's a bunch of free stuff in here you can grab out. Let's go back home. So yeah, there's sort of an idea of where you can go from once you got to the point where you've got like a comfortable little home set up. You can either go exploring or you can continue building on your current base and keep mining and getting new resources and upgrading. Now, let's say you want to stay a little bit more on the home front and focus on, like, say, farming. Let's grab ourselves a wooden hoe, a bucket of water, and some seeds. Seeds, like so. You can get seeds from just breaking grass. We're also going to grab some fences. Fences can be crafted in your crafting table using sticks and planks. There should be in here somewhere. No, there's not. Okay, I'll demonstrate it then. Where is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to get some sticks. All right. So to craft, I believe this one's for fences. Yep, fences is 2 planks on the outside, on each side of the outside, and 2 sticks on the inside. And then 2 sticks on the outside and 2 blocks on the inside is a fence gate. And we're going to open up a little area around the back here. Mine some blocks. Oh, this guy's decided to trap himself in. Oh, never mind. He's escaped. Worry about the animals later. So we're going to make a little farm here. So we're going to place a water block here. This will hydrate the ground in a 9x9 radius. Without this, your farmland's just going to turn back into regular dirt and it won't be able to grow crops. Let's hoe all this farmland down. I'm going to place a bunch of seeds. And over time, these will grow into wheat. We're going to speed that up using some bone meal. This can be crafted using bones from skeletons and just placing it directly into your crafting menu. And that can be used to speed up the growth of crops. Now, why would you want wheat? Well, first things first, wheat is a very renewable source to make bread, which is a good source of food, but it can also be used to breed certain animals together. So let's get some wheat. And we're going to build a little bit of a... Let's build it over here, I think. Here's a good spot. Yeah, I like here. We're going to go break off some of this. Oh, quickly. Like that. Just for the aesthetic of it. Because I'm a sucker for making sure things look nice. Alright, and then we're going to go like that. And this is just an example of what you can make. You don't actually have to follow exactly the way I'm building things. You build it however you want, as long as it's closed off on all sides. I'm gonna have a few cows in here. You can pull the, like, if you find cows in the wild, you can, like, lure them towards you by holding wheat in your hand. I'm using a cow spawn egg. This isn't available in survival. This is a creative only. I'm just using it for demonstration. And then if you click on them with wheat, then they'll make babies. And those will grow up into adults, which you can choose to either keep as pets or you can just kill them for food. So there's a few options in terms of getting food and resources in the early game. There's a little base design. If you want to build, if you have an idea in mind of something you want to build, look online. There is the things that people make in this game is absolutely off the wall insane. People have made the entire Buckingham Palace in this game. It's crazy how talented people are. You can make some really cool builds. I just wanted to give a sort of general idea of how to progress throughout the game in the early stages. So your basic tools, how to upgrade them, where to find certain blocks, where to find what certain blocks do, how to access dimensions, your basic production and storage of resources like furnaces, crafting tables, and chests, and sleeping, like beds. This is a very kind gentleman who's decided to visit us. He's an Enderman. He is basically from another dimension. That's not the Nether. That's a bit further down in the later on in the game. We don't really need to worry about that right now. They are completely, they will not hurt you, ever. Unless you look at them directly in the eyes, in which case they will attack you, and they have a lot of health. He's not attacking me because I'm creative. But if you look him directly in the eyes at survival, he's going to come and attack you. So he's not very happy with me. You don't need to worry about them. Just leave them alone and you'll be fine. The only mobs you need to worry about are really creepers, spiders, skeletons, and zombies. Zombies and skeletons, during the daylight, they'll burn up underneath the sun. Spiders will not attack you during daylight, and creepers will attack you regardless, but most hostile mobs will only spawn during the night or in areas that are super dark. So if you go down here, and if we mine a bit further down, like for example, we went all the way down here, for example, and we hold out a big area, mobs start to spawn down there. However, mobs will not spawn within a certain radius. I believe it's 26 blocks of you. So they will not spawn. You can go to where mobs are. Like, so for example, if a mob spawned over there, and I went all the way over there, it would still be there. Like, it wouldn't disappear once I'm nearby. However, it wouldn't come into existence right in front of me because I'm right here. Also, there's some coal from earlier, that example I had of how to get coal. There's some. So that should be about everything. Hopefully this is a pretty concise and helpful way for you to get started with this game. If you have any questions on how things are done, or a little bit like more in-depth questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. I will probably answer them, or someone else will probably answer them. If you want a slightly more in-depth guide, going a bit further into the game, the different mechanics, how things work, that feel free to leave a comment and ask for it. If not, there's plenty of videos out there that show a bit more depth into different mechanics, because some of the mechanics in this game have a lot of depth and require their own full, like, hour-long video, especially redstone. Redstone requires, what is this? Chisel bookshop, I've never seen that before. Requires its own full in-depth video that could go on for hours, because the amount of complexity that you can get from redstone is insane. In basics, it's actually very simple. However, it's very versatile in what you can do to manipulate it. And that's what the great thing about Minecraft is. Functionally, it's a very simple game. The hardest part is remembering where to find certain items and where to find and how to craft certain recipes. But it has so much depth in the way you can use the simple building blocks. But anyway, I will stop waffling on now. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and thank you very much for watching.